A lot of business owners that we help say they don't have any time. What is like one of the first things that we ask someone to do when we start working with them?
So one of the first things that I've been getting people to do when we've been working with them is getting them to do a time audit, which is a really basic way of just getting someone to write down exactly what they're doing every single 15 minutes for 1 to 2 weeks. Sounds really boring and really interrupting, but you actually find that you are more productive when you do a time audit because you're really worried about someone else looking at what you're doing and going, oh, I was on my phone 15 minutes ago, and oh, I'm still on my phone, and that looks like I spent 30 minutes on my phone, or I was on the toilet 4 times in one day, and it just happened to be when that 15-minute rollover was. So we do a time audit to have a look at what tasks people are constantly doing that's really low leverage, meaning either you can pay someone else a low or minimum amount of wage to get it done and train them up on it, or it's just a non-revenue generating activity and it's draining someone's energy from the business. As a business owner, it's really, really hard to be able to constantly stay up and do all these important things. So managing your energy and making sure that you're delegating things that aren't as revenue generating or that can be passed off is really, really helpful.
So what's an example of something that is low leverage, and then what's an example of something that's low leverage, and then what's an example of something that doesn't make the business much money?
Okay, so an example of something low leverage would be replying to emails.
Yeah.
So we templatize it and we pass it off as soon as we possibly can.
Yeah.
What was your second question? Sorry.
What's something? So that's something that's low leverage, and then like what is something that So when we say something low leverage, something that any employee could do with the right system and structure in place, and then what's something that a business owner might do that doesn't actually make much money?
Might be cleaning.
Yep.
It could be doing a pool test. Very important. Very easy to train.
Yep.
And it also could be swim teaching. Like, funnily enough, that's what the entire business is about for swim school owners, but you can replace yourself to 80 to 90% effectiveness if you can train people well, and you can pay someone anywhere from $15 to $35 an hour, depending on where you live and what you do. And the return on that is much higher. So you get a lot of time back, of which you can go and train more people, for example. That's really high leveraged.
Yep. And so then the other part that you mentioned was energy around a task. What is something that might be high energy or low energy? What's something that's high energy and low energy for you?
So high energy for me is doing marketing. So it's making ads, it's building out funnels, it's talking to families on the phone, getting to learn a bit about them, organising them to come in for our swim tech assessments, how we do it a little bit differently compared to other swim schools. Something that's low energy for me would be doing admin or emails, which is why I notoriously pass it off or avoid it.
Yeah. And so if someone was thinking after hearing all of this that they feel really busy, but they're maybe not sure 100% what they actually do on the day-to-day each week, what they would do is get a notes app or something like that, set an alarm for every 15 minutes from the moment they wake up. So if they wake up at 5:30, the first thing goes at 5:45, then 6:15, then 6:30 for the entire day until they go to bed. Yeah. And at each point they write down a note of what they're doing. Is that note that they write down, how much detail is useful in a note like that?
So you want to write down exactly what you're doing. So it's not I'm doing emails, it's I'm writing an email about this.
Yeah.
And I've done a few time, or got you to do a few time audits over the years, and you have started using your calendar so well that we've actually been able to use it to make conscious decisions. The importance of having detail in your time audit is because then you'll actually know what you're spending time on. Saying or training someone up on emails isn't specific enough to know what type of emails you're replying to constantly. If it's you're replying to emails because people want to mark their child absent, then that needs to be templatized and someone else needs to be trained on doing it. You also don't have to do it straight away. You can do it in bulk all at the same time. You can go, all right, there's 7 emails here and I'm just going to copy and paste, and I'm not actually going to even have the person's name in it because I just need to have the link and they just need to learn how to mark their child absent. For more extenuating things, then maybe there's something that's a little bit more specific. Then you need to templatize it more specifically. But if you only do it once a week and it takes you 30 seconds to type out don't bother spending an hour templatizing something and thinking all the time through it.
And so then somebody who was doing a time audit that wrote down a lot of detail, they might have a note something along the lines of like, I was replying to an email that was about makeup lessons. And then later that day, they might have, I was replying to an email that was a complaint. And maybe the makeup lesson one is something that they can get someone else to do or that they can train their clients to go and do themselves. Whereas maybe the complaint one is something that they actually need to keep on their calendar as something that they do.
Yeah, and like a complaint one can be very negative from an emotion standpoint for a business owner, but it's also really highly leveraged because it's really, really helpful to keep people coming to your business and try and make someone who's not happy. So really, really important to make sure that you're prioritizing the most important things for the business from a revenue generating perspective. It doesn't generate revenue, but it stops you losing revenue, which is exactly the same thing.
Yeah, and so then is there so what I'm hearing from that is that when we do a time audit and we're having the reflections based on all the notes that we've written and we're looking at what's highly leveraged versus not, and we're looking at what someone else could do and something that we need to do, and we're also looking at this gives me high energy or this doesn't give me any energy or it saps my energy, there's obviously some things. It's not going to be a perfect week, right? Not every single thing's going to be highly leveraged and not every single thing's going to give you energy. So is there a rule about the split between the two, or is it more just making sure that if something's going to be low energy, that it is highly leveraged? And that if something's going to be low leverage, that it does give you an extreme amount of energy.
Yeah, I'd pair it along with like the Eisenhower matrix as well. So things that are low energy but high leverage, I'd make sure that they are important and urgent if I'm doing them. Mm-hmm. Things that are high energy and high revenue generating, I would be making sure I'm doing as much of that as possible. Anything that is necessary but can be trained of someone else, especially when it's low energy for you, I'd be palming it off as quickly as possible in the correct way so that you don't have to come back and oversee it. Anything that you enjoy doing that is low leveraged, I would do that when you have bandwidth to do it so that you enjoy what you do. There's no point having a business where all you are doing is being stuck in something that you don't enjoy. I'm very privileged that I get to work with you and enjoy what I do on a daily basis. And one of your biggest passions is actually helping people enjoy their life and their business and their work as a consequence. So you and I work very effectively with each other to be able to achieve that for both of us.
Yeah, sweet.